Alright guys, welcome back. We're still working on our scene. We rode up to the edge of the mountain. We're going to look over this valley down below. He's standing on a rock outcrop here, and he's rode up there to kind of look down to see what's down here in this valley, because this is where it's all going to happen. And I'm just roughing this in to see where I want my shapes to lay a little bit, and what kind of shapes we're wanting to do, and where the shadows are going to cast, and we're just drawing again. This is just burn umber. You can do raw umber, you can do blue, you can draw any color that you want to. But what he's looking at down there is what really what I've got to catch, and that's the, what's down there. What's he pointing at? Well, we know Chattanooga's down there. And Chattanooga that day, what would it have looked like? The thing is, when you know this mountain looking off, what Chattanooga is, oh, there it is the shape of what really makes Chattanooga unique. He's going to be pointing over here. We know we got Missionary Ridge running along here, and this is Missionary Ridge. This was the last, I guess, bastion, what stood between Chattanooga and Atlanta. And we're going to take this little ridge right here, Missionary Ridge, and make it had Orchard Knob down here, down in the valley, kind of a place where if you had a command officer or something on this hill, you could look over Chattanooga, look over the whole valley from down in the valley. What makes Chattanooga unique is the way this river comes down through here. The Tennessee River it turns right back. The Tennessee River meanders, and it's pretty neat the way this thing meanders through here. It just kind of winds through the valley, heads on off upstream a little bit. So we're going to try to catch the way how we want this river to look. Tennessee River is a good sized river. And you'd had trees on the river banks, and kind of established that, and you'd had some trees over here. And see, Chattanooga was known for its trains too. You'd have had some up here from this height, you're not really going to see a whole lot of, but you'd have had some train tracks coming into the town. I know we're just going to try to establish some major shapes of why this place was so important, why we had to have it. Didn't have any bridges across the river at that time, so we're not really going to draw them in. Today Chattanooga's got several bridges and crossing the river, and that river bank's going to disappear back in there, and again, that's going to be Missionary Ridge. See? The valley that lays down there, and he's going to be pointing at that ridge. And just into the ridge was actually a place called McFarland's Gap, and that was they thought for that end, that's how you could get up on the ridge. And Missionary Ridge just kind of divides Chattanooga. The city of Chattanooga today sits kind of out here on this point in here, as the river coming around. Trees on the bend of the river down here. You'd have had some farmland. You might have seen some rows of farms out there. Maybe a few buildings, and down here you'd have had a little town. This was the Chattanooga proper of its day. And these are things that will develop as we go, but we'll kind of get them in there. A little bit of industry, and Chattanooga was a kind of a port on the river. Place on the riverbank down there. And this is going to be a lot of fun, developing all these little fields and things that we're going to see, and keep that river where we want it, kind of the way we want it there, and get the shape we want. It's like I've already moved it from here to here to here. I'm just trying to get kind of the shape of where I want that river to be. See, come to the bend and how it bends around. The trees are right down in here. On this side back over here, you're going to have some little hills and mountains back in here that will be farther back into the scenery. And over here on the other side would have been Lookout Mountain, or not Lookout, Signal Mountain, what we call Signal Mountain over there. And there would have been troops over there, and the reason I called it Signal Mountain is because from that mountain they could signal over here to this mountain and tell them what was coming down the river, or coming up the river. Well, that river just kind of wind on down that way, and behind those rocks, and this mountain back over here is going to be, make sure we got a good mountain there. Kind of meander it on back, and it's just going to kind of disappear way back into there, and we'll have little ridges and hills on this side that are, they're there. You go up there and stand on that mountain and look, and you're going to see just a rolling ridge, a rolling ridge, a rolling ridge, and a rolling ridge, and then you have this long mountain that just kind of going to wander back into the, and back here in the background we'll have actually the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. You stand in front of this mountain, you see all the way, let's say you can see 7 states from up there on top of that mountain. You can see all the way to Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia. They say you can see all the way to Florida. My eyes aren't that good, I wear trifocals, but that would be pretty neat, wouldn't it, if you could actually see all that far. So we're going to kind of have that mountain just kind of disappearing back through here, and Smoky Mountains back here in the, and you know the beautiful thing about painting is we can kind of exaggerate a little bit because we're the ones doing the painting. All the way, we'll carry the mountain in the mountain, land in the land, land of the Cherokee. Bring that mountain over on that side. It's going to be kind of, it'll have some shadows going down back there. Oh, didn't mean to paint through my flag. I'll tell you what we're going to do. And then there'll be some more mountains back in behind here. Again, we're just trying to establish where these things are. There's a place called Signal Point on that mountain over there, about right in there, and that's where they stood and signaled. You'd had the trees right there on the bluffs. And we can catch all that part out. And we'll put little barns and outbuildings and some little things down here in the valley, and develop our mountains a little bit. Bend to the river. I talk to myself on what I want to do with things, how I want to shape it, what I want it to be. This is actually called Moxican Bend on this river. The Indians named it that because it wound like a snake. I put a little bit of ultramarine blue in with that now to give me just a little bit darker color, so I can help establish what I'm wanting to do here with my colors. I want to get my river bank really established, how I want it to wind and then disappear back into the mountains. And I think that'll work for that. A little bit more on Missionary Ridge. I really want this ridge to look like a ridge coming through here. We'll cast where the shadows are coming down into the ridge. And guys, I'm playing now. I'm developing it. But I think we can make something work out of this. I tell you what, yeah, okay.